Okay, so you know that feeling. You finally get there.
Mm-hmm.
That big promotion, you finish the degree, you hit that goal you've been chasing for ages.
Right. The thing you worked so hard for.
And instead of feeling amazing, it's kind of flat. Or maybe worse, you have this nagging thought, wait, is this really it?
Exactly. That is this all there is
Yeah.
moment. It's surprisingly common.
Yeah. The Trusty YouTube channel, they really hit on this in one of their videos, talking about goals you might regret.
They had some powerful examples.
Totally. Like the person who got a PhD, mainly because they wanted, external approval and then found it didn't make them happy.
Or the classic one, taking a certain job, maybe like becoming a civil servant
Yeah.
to please family, and just knowing on day one, this isn't me.
Ugh, yeah. It really makes you wonder, what's the actual problem here? What's going on underneath?
Well, often that disappointment, that disconnect, it actually stems from beliefs we hold, things we might not even be aware of. Yeah, the book Designing Your Life calls them dysfunctional beliefs. Think of them as these almost invisible rules we follow about life and work.
Invisible rules.
And they can really limit how we think about what's possible or what we truly genuinely want. These outside pressures get internalized.
So you think it's what you want, but maybe it started somewhere else.
Exactly. And that can lead to feeling stuck or unfulfilled down the line.
Right. And that's exactly what we want to dig into today. We're going to explore this really cool idea called the Odyssey Plan.
Ah, yes. A great exercise.
It comes from Designing Your Life, and they talk about it more in Designing Your Odyssey. Basically, it's a tool to help you challenge those ingrained beliefs.
And to start sketching out some, maybe even radically different potential futures for yourself.
Yeah, instead of just reacting to things, you're like proactively designing.
It fits perfectly within the broader life design thinking framework. That whole approach is about moving past feeling stuck.
Okay, so life design thinking. What does that involve?
Well, it's based on a few key principles. Things like curiosity, having a bias towards action, actually doing things.
Not just thinking about them.
Right. And reframing problems, understanding that designing your life is a process, it's ongoing. And also this idea of radical collaboration.
Radical collaboration. What's that?
It just means really valuing getting different perspectives, working with others as you figure things out. It helps challenge your own assumptions.
Okay. So all these principles, plus the Odyssey Plan exercise, and maybe some good questions to ask ourselves.
Exactly. We can pull in some great self-reflection prompts from that Woo channel too, and practical tools from the Designing Your Life resources. It gives you concrete ways to tackle those limiting beliefs.
Got it. So let's go back to these dysfunctional beliefs. The book, Oh Yeah, points out how many people feel trapped by them.
hmm These unhelpful ideas about how life or careers should be.
And the T video had some classic examples, didn't it? Like, you have to decide what you want to be when you grow up.
Right. Or the idea that you should already know what you want to do by now, that puts on so much pressure.
Totally. Or feeling like, oh, it's just too late for me to make a change. I know I've felt that sometimes.
We all have, I think.
Yeah.
And those examples from G2TTG, this civil servant, they show how these beliefs often come from outside.
Family pressure, societal expectations.
Yeah, or just wanting people to approve of your choices. And like we said, those external voices can start to sound like your own inner voice over time.
Masking what you yourself genuinely want. Wow.
It's a common trap. Someone suggests a path, it sounds reasonable, maybe prestigious,
Can you just go along with it? For years, maybe?
without really checking in, does this actually fit me?
Okay, so life design thinking offers a way out. You mentioned curiosity as one principle. How does just being curious help if you feel stuck?
Well, curiosity is powerful because it encourages you to explore without judgment. It can help you question your assumptions about what the problem even is.
Like you think the problem is one thing, but maybe it's something else entirely.
Exactly. The book uses the example of Dave. He was absolutely convinced he had to be a marine biologist, like Jacques Cousteau.
Okay. Specific goal.
Super specific. But the thing was, he didn't actually enjoy studying biology. He'd spent years pushing towards it.
Oh, wow.
So his real problem wasn't, how do I become Jacques Cousteau? It was, how do I find work that's actually fulfilling for me?
So he had to reframe the whole question.
Right. And it was curiosity about other fields and reframing that helped him find a better path.
That makes so much sense. It's like that story about John and the Grand Canyon mule trip from the PDF resource.
Ah, yeah, the anchoring problem.
Exactly. He was so anchored to one solution, the mule ride, he kept trying to lose weight for it even when it got really hard and his family wasn't even keen anymore.
He was stuck on the how, not the what.
Right. Until he reframed. Instead of take the mule ride, it became experience the Grand Canyon from top to bottom.
And suddenly, loads of other options appeared. Hiking, helicopters, rafting.
It opened things up. And this ties into recognizing gravity problems too, right?
Definitely. That's a key concept. Some things you just can't change, like gravity itself. If you're designing a bike, you accept gravity. You don't try to fight it.
Or like the example that, it's hard to make a living as a poet. That might just be a reality of the market.
It might be a gravity problem.
Yeah.
So instead of pouring energy into changing that unchangeable reality, you accept it.
And focus your design efforts on things you can influence.
Exactly. It frees up energy. Which brings us back nicely to the Odyssey plans.
Okay, the Odyssey plans. You said it involves creating 3 different 5-year plans.
That's right. 3 distinct versions of your life for the next 5 years.
Wow. 3. Why 3? Seems like a lot.
Well, the purpose is really to push your thinking, to be creative, generative, to get you unstuck from the idea that there's only one right way forward.
So it forces you to consider alternatives you might normally dismiss?
Precisely. It helps you realize there isn't just one correct answer for your life. The PDF gives that example of the MBA student. He thought management consulting was his only real option. Seemed like the default path.
Okay, common path for MBAs.
But the exercise pushed him. What if consulting wasn't an option? What if money didn't matter? And he came up with 2 other really interesting lives.
Like what?
One was working in strategy or marketing for a media company, and the other, totally different, was starting a wine distribution business.
Wine distribution. See, that's interesting. It unlocks things you might not even realize are possibilities.
Exactly. It gets you past that default thinking, like the person regretting the PhD.
Yeah.
Are you on this path because it's the only one, or because it's truly fulfilling?
So the point isn't to, immediately pick one of these 3 lives and go for it?
Not at all. Not at this stage. It's pure ideation. Exploration. Think of it as brainstorming for your life.
Considering different versions of yourself.
Yeah. How would your skills play out here? What would your day look like there? What kind of impact could you have? Just envisioning these alternatives is powerful.
How so? How does just imagining help?
Because it directly challenges that belief that you're stuck or that it's too late. You start to see, oh, wait, there are other ways I could live, other things I could do.
It loosens the grip of that single track idea.
Definitely. Think about Melanie's story in the book. She wanted to change campus culture, but had no budget. By reframing and getting creative, she found ways to make an impact without needing big resources. It's about possibility thinking.
Okay, so envisioning these paths helps break down the I'm stuck belief. But how do you even come up with 3 different lives? Especially if you feel, stuck.
That is a great question. And this is where those self-reflection questions from the true video can be super helpful.
Ah, okay. How do they fit in?
They help you dig into your motivations. Are your current goals really yours? Or are they driven by those external beliefs we talked about?
Right. Challenging the assumptions behind your current path.
Exactly. So the first question they suggest asking is, why are you pursuing this goal? Really dig deep. Is it for you truly? Or is it mostly about pleasing others or getting that external validation?
Like the PhD example again. Was it love of the subject or needing the title?
And you have to be brutally honest with yourself here. Trust your gut feeling.
Okay, so question 1, why am I doing this? What's question 2?
Question 2 is about how you feel during the process, the preparation stage. Are you generally feeling eager, engaged, maybe even excited by the challenges? Or do you feel kind of doubtful, resistant, maybe even a sense of dread about the actual work involved?
Ah, so it's about whether you enjoy the journey, not just the destination.
Precisely. That speaks volumes about genuine interest versus just wanting the prize at the end. They use that concert ticket analogy, remember?
Right. Are you excited about the music, the experience, or just about saying you got the ticket?
Spot on. If you only want the ticket for status, you probably won't enjoy the actual concert much.
Makes sense. What's the third question to help us dig deeper?
The third one looks at how you react when you hit roadblocks or obstacles. What's your typical response?
Do you get frustrated and want to quit?
Or do you maybe see it as, okay, a challenge, something interesting to figure out, a chance to learn?
This sounds like it connects to intrinsic motivation.
Absolutely. If you're intrinsically motivated, you often find satisfaction in tackling the challenge itself, like their basketball player example.
Hmm.
Someone who genuinely loves the game, enjoys the practice, the drills, the effort of getting better.
Not just winning the championship.
Right. The process itself has value. Okay, and the final question from Sue.
Yeah, what's the last one?
This one's a fascinating thought experiment. They ask, if you could achieve this goal instantly, like magic, with zero effort, would you still want it?
Huh. Okay. What does that tell you?
It helps you gauge if you desire the actual activity or just the outcome. They called it the parting fee idea. If you could pay a fee and just have the result, would you?
So, like, if you could magically have a published novel appear without writing it.
Yeah. Would that feel fulfilling? If the answer is no, then maybe it's the process of writing, the creating, that's the real draw for you, not just having best-selling author on your bio.
Wow. Okay, those 4 questions are powerful. They really force you to look underneath the surface goals.
They do. They help you clarify what truly drives you, which is essential before you start designing potential futures.
So let's say you've used these questions, you've done some soul searching, and you've brainstormed 3 different Odyssey plans. What then? You mentioned not choosing right away.
Correct. The companion PDF stresses that the first phase is generation. Don't rush to judgment. Let the ideas breathe.
Okay. But eventually you need to evaluate them somehow.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
And the PDF suggests looking at a few things later on, like resources. What would each plan actually require in terms of time, money, energy?
Practicalities.
Also coherence. How well does each plan align with your overall view of life, your view of work, what the book calls your life view and work view? Does it feel authentic?
Does it fit you?
Right. And then there's confidence. How confident do you feel about actually being able to pull off each plan? And finally, just likability. How much does each path genuinely appeal to you?
Likability. That seems important.
It really is. And another key step mentioned is sharing your Odyssey plans.
Oh, talking to other people about them, that sounds a bit scary.
It can feel vulnerable for sure, but getting feedback from trusted people can be incredibly valuable. They might see connections you missed, ask clarifying questions, or just help you realize there isn't one single right answer everyone expects.
Okay, I can see how that could challenge your own biases or blind spots.
Exactly. And that sharing, that talking, it actually leads right into the next core life design idea, prototyping.
Prototyping your life, how does that work?
It's not as complicated as it sounds. It just means finding low-risk ways to test out aspects of your potential futures. And a great way to start is just by having conversations.
Conversation.
Yeah, what the book calls life design interviews. Basically, find people who are doing something related to one of your Odyssey plans.
And talk to them about their experience.
Exactly. Ask them what they love, what they find challenging, what a typical day looks like. It's a fantastic way to get real-world information, test your assumptions about that path.
And see if it feels like a good fit before you make any huge leaps.
Precisely. It's a low-stakes way to gather data and challenge those beliefs you might have about a certain career or lifestyle.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We started with that feeling of dissatisfaction, even after achieving goals.
Rooted often in those dysfunctional beliefs, the limiting ideas we pick up.
Then we explored how life design thinking offers a way forward, using principles like curiosity and reframing.
And the core tool we focused on was the Odyssey plan, creating those 3 distinct 5-year futures.
Right, as a way to break free from feeling stuck and imagine multiple possibilities.
And we layered in those fantastic self-reflection questions from Tat Nguyen to help you really understand your own motivations.
To make sure the goals you're chasing or the plans you're making are actually aligned with what you want.
Exactly. It's all about awareness, becoming aware of limiting beliefs, aware of your true motivations, and aware of the broader possibilities available to you.
So for someone listening who feels maybe a bit stuck or is questioning their path, what's one practical thing they could do this week?
I think a great first step is just to carve out maybe 30 minutes, no pressure, just brainstorm.
Brainstorm what?
Potential ideas for your 3 Odyssey plans. Don't worry about full detail, just sketch. Maybe life 1 is your current path continued. Life 2 is that thing you'd do if money wasn't an issue. Life 3 is what you'd do if plan A vanished. Just get some initial thoughts down.
Okay, just opening the door to alternatives.
Exactly. And while you're doing that, or maybe afterwards, reflect on those 4 Sue questions regarding your current main goal or path. Why are you on it? How does the process feel? How do you handle obstacles? Would you want it if it were instant?
That sounds really manageable. Just start thinking, start questioning.
It's about opening up possibilities and gently challenging those assumptions we all carry.
Great advice. And maybe a final thought for people to ponder.
Well, tying back to that Sue video, they mention how often the biggest regrets people have later in life aren't about failures, but about the experiences they didn't allow themselves to have.
The chance is not taken.
Yeah. So as you think about your life, your potential Odyssey plans, maybe ask yourself, what experiences truly matter to me? Am I designing a life that reflects my own deepest values, or am I maybe living out a script written by someone else?
That's a powerful question to leave us with. Are you the author of your own life?
It's definitely something worth exploring.